Hello and welcome to Rise of the Data Cloud. Today's episode features an interview with Jaya Kolhatkar, Chief Data Officer at Hulu. Jaya previously served as Senior Vice President of Data and Analytics Platform at Walmart and has more than 30 years of career experience with companies like Amazon, eBay, and PayPal. On this episode, Jaya talks about using data to improve and grow Hulu, the future of analytics and cloud data management, and much more. So please enjoy this interview between Jaya Kolhatkar, Chief Data Officer at Hulu, and your host, Steve Ham.
Jaya, it's great to see you today. I wanted to start with a little bit of history so people are set on that. Hulu started by streaming a portfolio of TV series from its media owners, which at the time in the early days included Fox, NBC Universal, and Disney. Now it's controlled by Disney, and it's expanded to streaming original programming and the live TV service, which lets subscribers watch over 50 channels via the internet. If you would, kind of describe the business strategy for the company these days, and also what's the data strategy?
So Hulu's North Star has always been to provide our viewers with choice and control over their watch experience. We have the largest TV streaming library. We're available on millions of streaming devices. And because we have live and video on demand, we have multiple plans and price points. We also offer premium services. So it leads to great number of permutations of our products. So there is the ability for our customers to really customize how they watch Hulu. We have hundreds of content partners who send us content, which we then collectively show our customers. As we mentioned, we have live TV, both from local streams as well as national streams. And we also have a very large advertising business, and we serve thousands of different versions of creative ads every day. So choice and control is what our business strategy is, to make sure that TV is anything you want it to be on Hulu. So that's our business strategy. And for that business strategy to really work well, it means that we really need to leverage the billions of data events that inform us about what we know about our subscribers and how they actually engage with our applications. It allows us to leverage that data to create the right customer experience for our customers. It allows us to understand what they need. So this could span from understanding and suggesting plans that would be best for our customers. It means, showing them the content that they might want to watch, that we think they will want to watch, to the ads that are most relevant to them, all the way to just making sure from a customer service perspective, our customer support team leverages data to understand what sorts of questions our customers will have for them and to be able to give them the best possible answers. So that's generally our data strategy, is to allow our knowledge of the data to support the business strategy, which is to offer choice and control to our customers.
That's great. You mentioned before that the company has a big advertising business. Could you describe how that business works and how you support it with data analytics?
So we actually have several products which the customers can choose. Some of them will choose the no ads product, but by and large, people tend to have our ad-supported product as their choice. Some of the things that we do is we do things like understanding what customers would prefer, what types of advertising. So trying to figure out relevancy of ads for each subscriber. That's one area that we look at.
Does each individual customer of Hulu see a different set of advertisements?
They do see different set of advertising. It depends upon the geography, it depends upon the demographic, It depends upon the content that they watch. So they will see different ads.
That is amazing. I mean, now that you say it, it's obvious, but it seems like that's a dream that the advertising business has had for, decades, and now it's finally come true.
Yep. It's definitely something that if you didn't have the ability to look at customers with a very personalized view, you would not be able to do that. But, we have the ability to do that. And so those are kinds of products that we build and offer our brands.
Yeah, that is really fascinating. Thank you for that. Do you actually ask them what they're interested in?
No, we don't ask them. We kind of derive it from some of the content that they watch. Also, we have segmentation and demographics that allow us to think about what products would be the most suitable for them. That is very similar to what most advertisers do. But I think the looking at content to understand what a subscriber might need is something that is unique to Hulu. And given that we have so many years of experience, we've kind of been able to build algorithms around that.
You mentioned a couple of interesting projects you've worked on. What's the most recent interesting thing that you've launched, your most recent innovation with data?
So some of the things, I think like one of the areas that I'm most proud of, and we're like spending a lot of time actually building that out even further, is, typically people use data for insights, for marketing, and for content, and so on. We've been doing a lot of work recently to see how we can leverage data insights to build new, unique products. And continuing on the advertising area, a year or so ago, we had come up with customer insights which said, 40% or more of our subscribers actually binge more than one series every month. And by binge, I mean they watch 3 episodes or more of the same series in one sitting or one session. And interesting, but our product team started thinking about, is there a way for us to use that to create innovative ways of advertising? And so they created something called the binge ad. And what it actually does is we use algorithms to predict who's going to binge. And then we offer the ability to our various brands to sponsor an ad-free episode while they're binging. So it's something that actually gives both our advertisers as well as our customers, benefit, and allows us to create a very unique way of advertising that these brands will not have anywhere else. Another example was like we found that people paused while they were watching shows. And, we also thought about leveraging that time when they have paused to see if there was anything that we could do from an ads perspective. So we launched what we call the pause ad, which is very non-intrusive, but it's very cute and funny and, gives the brands a way to have a different persona, if you will, in the way they advertise. So both of those have been very successful. We've been talking a lot with our application folks. We can predict whether someone is coming to whether they're going to continue watching a show that they already are familiar with, or they're going to come in and discover a new show. And how do you leverage the fact that you can predict these things with understanding data patterns? How can you leverage this? How can you create new products for that? So those are kinds of things that, we've been spending a lot of time thinking through, building out. And as you can imagine, the data load is immense, and weaving through, teasing out patterns that can allow us to build these products sometimes is very challenging, but that's fun.
No, it really is interesting. With binging, it really is a new way of consuming entertainment, and it seems like the ad industry and your company are really kind of rising to the occasion with figuring out what to do with that. there's probably a lot of interesting new things coming down the pike as well.
And very frankly speaking, like what we are thinking about is not just monetizing it, but making it a good experience for our customers, right? Like not having ads at all in an episode is really a great customer benefit. And, our brand partners benefit from it as well. But the drive is usually towards figuring out how we make the experience better.
Yeah. Now, Hulu is a Snowflake customer, and I'd like to understand how you're using the cloud data platform.
Absolutely. So when I joined 2 years ago, we had just begun testing Snowflake. One of the first things that we as a team did was to bring together all of our subscriber data, and we call it Subscriber 360, into one place. One of the reasons for doing that was over the years, different people had different definitions of what a subscriber meant. So we wanted to bring all of this data into one place and then allow people the ability to analyze this data, derive insights from them really easily. And so that was the first project that we used Snowflake for. We had about 120 model data elements, which came from multiple sources that we combined into one Snowflake database. And because of Subscriber 360, we were not only able to make our data more actionable, we made it more accurate and we made it more accessible. It is just a much easier way to access data than our traditional Hive queries, and it allowed the business to really understand how to leverage the data, be able to create actions out of the data. So that was one of the first areas that we actually started using Snowflake for. And that was the starting point. We've had multiple 360 products that we've built on Snowflake, and it's allowed the company as a whole to start thinking about the business holistically. So our marketers think about not just the subscribers, but they think about advertising and content and the product. It's allowed us to do things holistically. So that's one of the ways that we've been leveraging Snowflake.
So you combine all the data together, and all of the functions and business elements of the business can all get into that. So now for the first time, they can actually combine their data with data from others that really gives them much more of a three-dimensional picture, or you said subscriber 360, it sounds like. That sounds like a very smart thing to do. Is there one particular kind of insight that you started getting that you could talk about a little bit that will show us kind of the benefits of integrating the data in that way?
I'll give you an example, a very recent example, and something that I think, takes this up a slight notch. In November, we are part of Disney now. So I, call them us as well. So we launched Disney Plus in November. And with that launch, we also launched a product which bundled all three applications. So Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus. And we call that the bundle. So we launched the bundle in November with the Disney Plus launch. And the hypothesis going in was that, if one service is good, then three services bundled at a much cheaper rate is even better, right? So we went in with that thought pretty blind, right? We were running in three different silos. We were running our own thing. Disney Plus was running their own thing. And so very quickly, we realized that we really needed to understand how these bundle subscribers were behaving in all three applications. And how do you then understand that? And what do you do about it? So we were able to leverage the Snowflake product to actually come up with this data exchange where we could share data across the three platforms. And it allows us to share this data without really worrying about, sharing data and having it leave our walls. It's done anonymously, but it allows us to look at every single bundle subscriber's engagement on Hulu versus Disney Plus versus ESPN. And that has allowed us to understand, A, is our hypothesis correct? And was it good for all three? And B, is there some subscribers that this benefits more than others? And if we knew that, how would we actually market to them? And so what we've realized is, and what we found is that the bundle is pretty much great for all three services. The bundle subscribers are stickier, they're more engaged, churn less. And what we've seen is in the groups of subscribers where one service is not fully meeting their needs. So let's say a adult with no children on the Disney service may or may not have, all of their content needs met. For that group of subscribers, having the bundle is really great because there is a lot of content that they are able to leverage. So in that case, you can see that 1 + 1 is actually 3 in our case. And then you can build marketing strategies that allow you to target these particular customers with a very targeted messaging, like making sure that they understand the kinds of content that they get when they sign up for the bundle. So, like having these kinds of things that we can tie together, and not just within our own world, but within the larger Disney world, gives us a lot of capabilities that we did not have before.